Welcome back to round 15 review. There's lots to talk about today and unpack. Obviously, Origin teams are out and some few new faces for both teams. Obviously, with the injury of Mitch Barnett, Stefan Ukamanu comes into the New South Wales team and the Queensland team. They talk about pick and stick, but these days they don't pick and stick, and it's been not spoken about too much. Before we get into it, how's me tan, mate, with the hook?
I'll tell you what, I think my nose has grown. It's from all the lies I've been telling. I don't know if this camera makes my nose look bigger, but I've been thinking that.
What have you been doing?
Today I went to the beach, helping out Catalans a little bit, just part-time. Mate, just cruising, getting ready for this baby. Went and did some stuff today, actually. Moving to our place over here in about 2 months. So it's getting real, Toddy.
Is that your 10th house you've got now?
Not 10th.
Is that 10 houses you got?
A couple behind you. You own half of Queensland. Talking about Queensland, when are you going to fucking start attacking these blokes? Because it's a big game next week, Toddy. And they're turning on each other already.
What do you mean attacking blokes?
They're turning up there. For years and years.
What, they've turned on themselves.
Criticised us, put us in corners. On the back of it, I was in the front seat. We used to get turned on year after year, that we had no loyalty, that we turned on each other. Queensland picked and sticked. Now all of a sudden, the tide's turning, brother. It's good to see.
It's on the other foot, isn't it? And they don't need me as a New South Walesman turned on, because they're turning on themselves. I've read a few things this week. Should Cherry Evans should they have the decency to sit down and have a conversation with him about not getting picked, or was a phone call enough?
What do they want him to take him to?
What are your thoughts?
Take him to fucking six-star.
That was like Billy Slater doesn't have that much time in his life to go fly to Sydney because he lives in Melbourne or Queensland to take him for lunch.
Well, they're going to go to Icebergs at Bondi, have a Chardonnay, and then say you dropped. See you, bruh. What's the point?
Well, there is no point, because at the end of the day, they've moved on. They've made their decision to move on. They've put Tom Dearden in the number 7 jumper. Ezra's come into an extended bench. Yet to know where he will play a part, but there's obviously a few conversations around that. Ezra Mam, Kurt Mam on the bench, and maybe Capel. That's 3 small bodies that can cover a lot of positions, obviously, but I'm not sure how it will go once the 17 is played out. But the talking point is Dearden. Dearden will come in. He's been in the number 7 jumper for the Cowboys for the last few weeks now. What are your thoughts around it, and how does Queensland play, and who does the big chunk of the kicking?
Yeah, I'm really interested, because I only go back to the review show of Origin, I think it was, and I said that I think Cherry will...
The one where you said Queensland will win?
No, it was after that one.
Oh, yeah.
As I said last show as well, bring it up more.
Oh, it's gonna haunt you for the rest of your life.
And as I said, I stuck to what I thought, and we move on. Not all of us live in the past and keep bringing up the same shit. So if you want to stay back in the past, I'm back here. I'm moving forward, brother. I'm rebooting that way.
Oh, there's his quote. There's his quote of the day. You want to stay in the past? You stay in the future. Is that what you said?
Something like that. Fuck, you're in a good... I like you when you're in these weird moods, because I'm in a bit of one today. I'm in a jovial Queensland criticism mood.
Well, go on, then.
So I said after the show, I think it was after last show when the Dearden Cherry Evans debate was going on, I said, why would you change Cherry Evans to a Dearden when in the situation they lost in, with lack of possession, forwards getting bashed for majority of the game, it was a hard job for any half to play in those situations, and then to bring someone else in such a critical game for game 2 that are probably similar in where they're at in their career. Like, if you bring a Dearden in, you think about it. Cherry's a great competitor. Dearden's a great competitor. who's got a longer, better kicking game and who's got probably more experience and game nous in big games and captaining a side and leading a side in pressure situations? Daly Cherry-Evans. I love Dearden. I think he's a great player and he's no doubt put his hand up and earned his spot. But it's a huge call because, like I just said, game one, it wasn't a halfback's game. I was critical of Cherry. I thought Cherry played average. And when he did get opportunities, their attack suffered. But sometimes that's a side effect of also having limited possession. Your side's rattled, fatigue kicks in, and it's hard to get the ship going. It's hard to drive. It's hard to steer the ship. So it's a big call because unless this situation of this game is possession in favour of Queensland, their forwards aim up to a huge New South Wales pack. It'll then come down on Dearden to show his class if he gets those situations. But if he's on the back foot, I think you're better off with a Cherry there because he's got more game nous. He's a better talker within the group. He's got more composure and he's been there, done that. But as people of the footy nerds have come to realise with me, I talk a bit of shit and sometimes I'm wrong. So maybe I'll get egg in my face again.
Yeah, maybe we might, but that's what it's here to have a discussion about. I'm with you. I would lean towards Daly Cherry-Evans for the importance of the game because I guess there's a masterstroke and there's not a masterstroke if it happens. If they go out and win on Wednesday night, they will both look like the heroes. DCE obviously will be gone, sail to set in the sun, but Billy Slater and Dearden, they'll be the masterstrokes behind it because one, they've changed the team. He's now the number 7 jumper, and it'll look really good. But if it doesn't, a lot of pressure heaps on to Dearden. I think a lot of pressure heaps onto Billy Slater as a coach. Obviously, there's other people that select the team and that would have been helping Billy select the team. But I just think if New South Wales go out and win on Wednesday night, it puts pressure on Dearden, not so much for Game 3, but it puts pressure on Dearden and Queensland for the series next year because that's where they're going to probably go with Dearden again. So he'll be going into if New South Wales win the series, he'll be going into a series with a loss.
I don't agree with you there on that one. I don't think from a long-term point of view, it puts too much pressure on Dearden because it's a changing of the guard regardless. Cherry's 36, 37 years of age. So I feel like he'll have there'll be a bit of leeway for Dearden to sort of earn his stripes for a bit because it's a bit of a changing of the guard and he's kind of the next one up. So I don't feel like this is
It's Origin. How long you got?
I don't feel like this is do or die for him, whether he wins or loses. I'm just talking specifically from a performance point of view for them to win. I was going to ask you from a technical point of view.
So Sam Walker brains it for the rest of this year and all the start of next year. Dearden's jumpers.
No, well, probably not. But I don't think he's going to be like written off and you're a piece of shit because you don't win this game. Is what I'm trying to say.
I'm not saying that. But I'm putting now before I could finish.
Yeah, I didn't want you to finish.
Is the question is that okay? There is going to be pressure. It's not changing the guard. Here's your number 7 jumper. Put it on your jumper in your cupboard, and it's yours for the next 5 years. Because it's a change in the guard and DC is gone. You've got to earn the jumper in Origin. And there's other halves out there that can go out there and possibly take the number 7 jumper off Dearden. No one could take the jumper off DC for the last however long because they weren't good enough.
Could Dearden slide into 6?
Well, Dearden's an option at 6.
No, Munster's a 6.
Yeah,
Munster's a 6.
Very true.
Well, that'd be
Munster's would be the 6.
That's their next pod of players coming through. It'd probably be Walks and Dearden. No, I'm just saying that's their crew there now that's probably going to take them forward. I was going to ask you, Toddy,
but there's obviously if Dearden's getting not Dearden, if Ezra Mam's getting put on the bench, there's a thought process going through that. We talk about method to the madness. He's next up.
Yeah, I agree.
I believe. Yeah, I just think that it's too early to get rid of him. The game's on the line. The pressure game. He's been there, done it before. He's he's broke New South Wales backs before in games like this before. I would stick with DCE and go with Dearden again on the bench. And if they were to lose game 2, put Dearden in and there's your future, or there's your look at what's coming. But like I said, there's so many players, things to unfold after this series. I know we don't want to go past this series because we're talking about the now. But I don't believe the 6 and 7 jumper are safe for either Queensland. New South Wales, I think they're fine because they win the series. But I reckon there'll be pressure for the first time in a long time. Media and other people in the game jumping at Queensland halves. Usually it's on the other side. If New South Wales lose the series, we went through it plenty of times. You a lot more than me. Is that they want you to change your halves all the time, and I believe that will start happening to Queensland if they don't win this series.
So for Dearden stepping in, obviously that choice to come in from a technical point of view, I'd say we both agree Cherry's probably got the longer kicking game and a better kicking game as far as arm wrestle types of kicks, longer kicks. I feel like he's more suited to that game management kicking game. So you lose that to an extent unless Dearden comes out of the box and kicks more. I see Munster kicking more than Dearden because I don't think Dearden's that type of player. They obviously didn't connect well. So Cherry's probably struggled, and I was critical of that in game 1 of bringing Munster and KP into the game. I feel like even through Cherry's career, even when he was playing at Manly, Kieran Foran was more the one that probably opened space up and brought Cherry in. Cherry has always been more of a space player, instinctive player. So they struggled to connect and bring other players into the game. But does Dearden bring that? Like for me, Dearden's a running 6 who can play a little bit of 7. He hasn't played a whole lot. So how does it look for their structure? Because that was the criticism. That was the criticism. So their kicking game potentially loses a bit. They lose a fair bit of experience and game nous with Cherry. So does Dearden bring the connection?
I don't know. They'll have a plan to counter it because he usually plays left side of the field. He'll be now playing right because Munster will be on the left with the left foot kick. I think KP will take a fair chunk of the long kicking game.
That restricts him.
Munster will step. Of course it does.
That restricts KP then. So now all of a sudden KP, where you say free KP up, then he has to worry about game managing a bit. So this one, it's a good conversation because I
think Munster will take a bit. I think a lot of footy may get played off Grant. I honestly don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it unfolds and who actually steers the ship because, as you know, you need to steer the ship. And as we talk about in Origin, the ball runners in the halves obviously dominate the bigger halves. And Dearden's not a bigger half, but he's a dominant runner. He loves running the ball. But will he be able to juggle running the ball, game managing, steering the Queensland team around? And as we know, they're going to be under pressure. They're going to be under pressure from the start of the game through the momentum because how big New South Wales pack is and what they've done to them in game 1. So New South Wales ain't going to change the way they play. If anything, they'll get better because their new combination of Moses and Cleary will get another week to get together in camp. They'll get another game together. So it's just going to build a whole lot more pressure on Queensland. And they'll be playing off the back foot. And there's obviously already question marks if Harry Grant should even start. Should they go with someone else? So are they just trying to tread water in the first 15, 20 minutes to get Harry Grant on the field so the game opens up? I think if that's the case, and they're going to say throw a Kurt Man into the middle of the field and get him to start the game, go out there and do your best and keep your head above water and dog paddle, well, that means showing that Queensland's worried about the start and how Harry Grant is. So do they start looking to another number 9?
Their mentality is going to be flat fast. Like Dearden plays his best when he's over the advantage line, playing big fours. They got blown off the park last game. Their whole talk will be about how can we win momentum early and hold on to it because it's their only chance of winning is kicking the door in, winning momentum, and then playing really flat, fast footy. But as we know, you need the ref on your side with that. You need to earn your penalties and you need to get field position. If they don't do that, all of a sudden, the Cherry Evans out, the leadership, the experience, and the kicking game the know-how will come up, will be exposed. But we'll wait and see, Toddy.
Yeah,
How's
we'll
our
wait.
little mate Mitch Moses on the other hand? Did he get suspended for that tackle?
Nah, he's cleared.
I saw Cooper Cronk come out, talk about rivalries. Cooper come out in the 6th and said he's going to get 4 weeks. Thought it was funny.
Did he get suspended, Gabe?
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure he's sweet. But just on as I looked that up, it's just so refreshing to be sitting here, especially now I get to be a part of it, that we're just talking about Queensland for once. You know, all the past years, what does New South Wales need to do, blah, blah, blah. It's so nice to be on the front foot when it comes to Origin. You know what I mean? Where's Queensland mixing it up? What do you think this says about Billy Slater as a coach? Like, it's from I'm sure you boys would agree, by all reports, it's a very un-Queensland-like decision. Do you think the pressure's
it's an easy conversation for it to come out and say that it's an un-Queensland-like because
well, it just feels
always,
good to say that.
It feels good to say it, and it was always going to happen.
Just keep kicking them.
It would always will come back to this conversation because New South Wales has picked and swapped and changed for many years, and Queensland never did because they had that nucleus of players, and they went for the dominant period, and then they changed the dominant period, and they continue to win. So I believe, obviously, Billy as a coach has come out and put his balls on the line because the safe option would be to stick with DCE and hope that it go out and change what happened in game one. But he's gone out there with a limb here and picked Dearden because the pressure will be on Billy now, and as it is in the media, there's pressure on him. But I think Billy will be unfazed about it.
I think the thing we said in the last show is Dearden's obviously had a huge impact in camp. Like, for them to have that much confidence in him, it wouldn't have just been a split decision overnight, like, Cherry played average, fuck, he's out. Like, he's obviously earned his respect over a couple of years. He's obviously got good relationships with the group. He obviously is impressed at scrimmage sessions. Fans will scrimmage as the opposed sessions at training. You don't understand what I'm saying, but he's obviously stood up in and around camp. Boys follow him. He's obviously got influence. Like, they're not idiots. They're one of the Billy Slater's the greatest fullback of all time and a leader. So he also played.
Dearden also played for Australia in the last year and played well
as a 6.
As a 6, but still, it's as we talk about 6s and 7s. There is a difference, but in Origin, I think it comes down to who wants it more and who controls the big moments. And how many big moments Queensland will get will determine what New South Wales let them get.
They've showed their cards.
I don't think
Munster's captain.
I don't think they'll force. I don't believe they'll force New South Wales into any pressure.
I feel like off the back foot, Cherry will be missed. If they've got momentum, they'll be okay. But off the back foot, Cherry will be missed. But they've obviously showed their cards. It's relying on Munster to have the game of his life, which is every chance. One of the greats. He's captain. It's his ship.
The stage is set for him. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's on him, and that's also showing confidence in him. Also,
why wouldn't you?
Well, exactly, 100%. Why wouldn't you?
There was no issue on Mitchell Moses either. I looked that up. What do you think about Munster a captain? Happy for him? What does it do for Queensland? Is it the right option? It probably is the right option considering Cherry's gone, I think.
It's definitely the right option. He's been there around the team for a long time. He's the number 6. He's the bloke that talks the most. He'll be the one rallying the group together after a loss. Obviously, Harry Grant would have been my next option. But also, I don't believe they'll start Harry Grant on Wednesday night when it comes around. I think they'll push someone else in to start and take the sting out of the game and then bring Harry on where he's probably been known best in Origin. So I think it's a great move for Munster to be captain. He'll relish being a captain. He'll obviously take more pride in it, even though that he doesn't take C next to your name to have more pride, but he'll like galvanising the group to get a win because he's the captain, and it's the stage is set for him, which is a dangerous thought. He's been playing good in club football, played good in Origin 1 also. He was just obviously on a beaten team.
They had a plan in game 1, Toddy, that you could tell they wanted to move the ball, especially on early plays. You reckon that's their best bet to win field position? If they ice it properly, obviously they gave away a couple of really bad penalties in game 1 early in the game. So they're off the back foot from the start.
I thought early in the game, the game was in the balance early on. I thought it was either way. Like, obviously, New South Wales had always the upper hand, I believe, but a big moment here or there could have changed different parts, as we know in Origin. That's what happened. But yeah, I reckon they'll stick with moving the ball. I think you'll see KP with the ball in his hands a lot more. It'd be interesting. I'm looking forward to it because I'm also looking forward to how New South Wales continue to get better and dominant from their game 1 performance with an extra week in camp together, coming into a big game.
Yeah.
Because New South Wales are looking for a clean sweep. They'd have in the back of their minds, we win in Perth, we're winning in Sydney.
I can't wait.
Enough Origin talk because we're still a week away from Origin. There'll be plenty to talk about and dissect next Monday in our round 15 review. But we're here to talk about round 15 preview. It's not the halfway mark of the season, but I do want to have a little chat and discussion about the top 8 and the bottom 8, the top 8 and the bottom 9 at the moment and how it's going and where you think swaps and changes will be. But our first game of the weekend, a short weekend of footy, is the Sharks v the Dragons.
Sharks v Dragons. I'm going to go Sharks. Just before we start our tips, I'm in the zone. I did some preparation before because I'm sick of fucking them up. I am. So I just wanted to put that out there. So if I get these wrong, it's not a lack of preparation. I reckon Sharks. The Sharks for me have to bounce back. And we said that a while, but they're in a hole, the Sharks. Well, they're in a whole week-to-week consistency because it was only 3 weeks ago they beat Melbourne. Then they have a loss, a win, a loss, and not only last week, a bad loss. And the problem with the Sharks is as well, it's the way that they lose. It's the same criticism that's been going on for a few years. Everyone starts attacking Nico for playing too sideways and looking for the easy option. Their team's got a soft underbelly, all the same stuff. And to be honest, you can't blame the criticism because they are showing this weakness. So I think it'll be an up week again for the Sharks, though. I think they'll get the job done this week. They have to.
Is Sharks your cheddar?
No. And Dragons, who knows? This is just the thing of the comp. This is why it's so difficult. Dragons are the same. Up, down, up, down. But Dragons were poor last week. Got to think. I'm going off who should win and who I think needs to win, and it's Cronulla. Their halves are more... They've got better halves and they've got a better squad. So on paper and on rebound, they should win. Sharkies.
All right, I'm going for Sharkies too. I believe they'll win. Valentine Holmes will be out for the Dragons team. I just think, as you just said, that it'll be up at Shark Park. They need a win. They don't miss too much through Origin. They'll have a hungry team to win, and as they'll be disappointed after that loss. And as you said, teams need to start winning. The ladder is too tight, and as there's always continued pressure on Nico, but I think they'll get a bit of freedom against the Dragons. I think the Dragons are a bit of in a world of hurt after their loss. They'll obviously be coming. Flano back against his old club. Shark Park. So there's always a rivalry with these two teams. But I'm with you. I think the Sharks win. The Sharks get it done. Our second game of the weekend is the Titans v Manly on Friday night, a game I'll be calling live. How do you see it playing out?
Manly for me. Like, how can you not go for Manly? The Titans are just giving no one really any confidence, are they? So coming off another loss to Titans last week. Defensively, the worst team in the comp. So when your defense is the worst team in the comp and you're playing a side with Turbo, a motivated Cherry Evans who's just been dropped, and the rest of the crew there, Sipley, Olakwatu. Olakwatu's in camp, isn't he? Is he in camp?
No, he pulled out.
So, yeah. Try tackling those big boys. And an angry Cherry Evans off the back of a dropping and Turbo at the back against the worst defensive team in the comp. I'm putting all my money on Manly. But they're not my cheddar.
Manly's my cheddar.
You take the easy option.
I won't take the easy option when I'm sitting coasting pretty at the top.
Yeah, you get the 3 points like I will be if I win. You get the Manly's favourites. Like that's a 2-pointer, isn't it? Has to be.
It is a 2-pointer. You should know because that's all you do. You've never put your balls in the
You'll
line.
see.
You've never had a cracking
You'll
cheddar.
see.
You've never had one cracking cheddar.
Abiento.
What's it even mean?
See you soon. You will see soon.
Fuck. Yeah, you'll see soon. Well, I'm going Manly. I think Manly win and they win easy. TCA will have a point to prove after getting dropped from Origin. Turbo's back in. Jakey Trebojevic is back in. They'll lap the Titans on Friday night. They'll give them an absolute lapping.
Could be anything.
Tino out for the Titans. It could be anything.
Titans fucked. Tino's out too.
Yeah. Oh, he's in Origin.
Bring back Matt Rogers. Scotty Prince and Matt Rogers. Hey, they didn't get our measure, did they, bruh? 2010 semi.
That's it, bros. The boys were on. All right, our third game of the weekend is the Knights v Roosters.
So this was potentially my cheddar, but it's not. But I'm going... Nah.
What do you mean
Just
potentially cheddar, but it's not? So who are you going to go?
I'm going Dolphins, but we'll get there. Roosters for me this game.
Dolphins are favourites.
Yeah. But there's a bit of...
So you're going for the same thing as me, you dickhead.
No. So it could be a favourite. It could be a favourite, but it could be... Yours is not... Yours is like a...
Mitch, just admit you didn't think they were favourites.
Shut up. It's still 2
yours
points.
Is like paying $6 to win. Manly over fucking Titans.
It's still 2 points, you dickhead. It's favourite or favourite.
It could be favourite and it can be like, how fucking favourite is this game? Like there's a favourite, but there's a... and then there's... It's a no-brainer. And yours is the no-brainer. Mine's potentially on the rocks.
Mate, I'm telling you,
But anyway,
you better go check the beach bar you've been sitting at every day and make sure they're mocktails.
they're mocktails, bro. I haven't folded.
They better be because it's hard to get a fathom on you at the moment because you just
Never. Hey, when have you ever been able to get a fathom on me? Whatever fathom means.
That's exactly right. Let's talk about the Roosters in Newcastle.
What does fathom mean?
Win. See, they welcome they welcome Sam Walker back this weekend. He'll be in the number 7 jumper. Sandon Smith goes to the 14. Obviously, Connor Watson's out. Angus Crichton's out.
Yeah.
But Roosters are near full strength. With Sammy Walker coming back, he got the job done for the Roosters reserve grade on the weekend. Got blew some cobwebs out, and he'll be firing on the weekend, Sammy Walker.
Yeah, Roosters will be too big, too strong. They're playing great footy. We keep saying it week after week. Different style of footy that we've seen from the Roosters, but they're playing, great style of footy. They've stuck with Hugo Savala to team up with Sammy Walker. There was obviously debate whether they kept Sandon Smith there. I think it's a smart move. I think Sandon, full credit to Sandon and a shout out to Sandon, how good he's played, been outstanding. So he deserves all the compliments. And if he's not to stay there next year with the potential Cherry Evans signing we keep hearing about, I hope he picks up a good club because he's a great buyer for whoever he goes, whether he stays or he leaves. So shout out to some great form, Sandon. But I think Hugo, their length of kick that they get out of Hugo, I think is more effective with Sam Walker. Sam Walker's got so much game. He's got one of the best halves in the comp, but long kicking game is probably not his greatest strength. Hugo gives them that. So I think it's a great balance.
Do you think do you give Newcastle a chance? Like obviously they're without KP, but last time we've seen them without KP. In the last few weeks since that game, Fletcher Sharp's been outstanding, untouchable. Does he continue that form? Jackson Hastings is in the number 7 jumper.
That's their hope.
Or number 6 jumper.
That's their hope. Jackson.
I hope that they play well. I hope for Jackson Hastings and Newcastle Knights that they play well.
That's their hope. Jackson coming in with a point to prove. He'll want to play the game of his life after all the rumours and innuendo. So, hopefully Jackson...
After he put the milkman suit on.
No, we can't go there again, bro.
Fucking who says?
They also reckon after this game...
Climb your river.
Game, Dom Young's supposed to be heading back to Newcastle too.
He's heading back to Newey.
That's the rumour. Everyone's saying that straight up after this game, Dom Young's going to be playing for Newcastle. I heard Matty John say it. I've heard a couple people say it. So that's interesting.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be a handy pickup for him.
But I think I don't think Knights will have enough points in them, especially with KP out. No. Roosters' defence hasn't been at its best over the last couple of years, but I think they'll defensively be too good. I think Newcastle are going to have to come up with a lot.
You might have even said this. It's got Hastings as 5'8", Cogger
plays
7.
Yeah.
That's random.
I wonder what the conversation's going to be like in the change rooms before the game, like you said, Toddy.
Who knows? Do you reckon Sammy Walker sits there on the couch this week and sees Billy Slater pick Dearden, and obviously you just spoke about it before, the change in the guard. Do you reckon he sits there, and obviously it always, when we spoke to him, we sat down with him, which you'll see soon, about his aspirations to play Origin. Obviously he's got the ability to play Origin. Does he look at it and go, okay, if Queensland lose this series and I play my best football the back end of this year and the start of next year, there's a possibility we see Sam Walker in a Queensland jumper?
There's every possibility, for sure. I think, as I said just before, he's obviously if you think who's the future for them, it's Dearden and Sammy Walker. I can't think off the top of my head, unless I'm missing one. I can't think too many other options in Queensland. Gabe?
Or Ezra.
Yeah, it's that 6 role, but if they're going to play, well, Dearden's playing 7 now, so that's obviously what they look at as their future alongside Sammy Walker. But, it's just, I think that's definitely ahead for him. There's Australian jerseys and Queensland jerseys. I'm excited to see how Walks goes, because obviously he had Luke Keary outside him. He came in, he had some great footy. He's been a superstar since he's come in the NRL. He's now coming into a side that's got a different look to it, different playing group. I feel like this style that they're playing now, though, probably suits him even more. It's that new generation. He's got a bit of free spirit.
I believe Sammy Walker comes in and comes with an instant impact.
Does he play more touches? Do you think it's time now for him? Just
100%.
It's now his team is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to watch that. It's his time. It's his team. It's his new generation. And those Queensland jerseys and Australian jerseys will follow if he starts doing that at the Roosters week after week.
Our next game of the weekend is the Cowboys v the Dolphins.
This is my cheddar, bro.
This is your cheddar? Your cheddar?
Yeah.
The Dolphins is Mitch's cheddar. If you missed it, that he bagged me because I went with the favourite, but he's gone with the favourite.
Do you think their opposition's not as favourable?
Okay.
Do you think this game against is as favourable as your as likely that the Dolphins are getting a win as your one, as a Manly game?
Well, considering they're losing their halfback, yes. Moses doesn't play for the Cowboys. Dearden's out for the Cowboys.
Sorry, I meant Dearden. I just had a brain snap.
Yeah. So Dearden's out. So obviously, Dolphins lose the hammer.
Well, that levels things out. Hammer out for the Dolphins.
Didn't you do some research?
Yeah, I just said it levels things out.
Yeah,
your Manly to Titans is a way more favourable prediction than a Dolphins Cowboys. Yes, Dearden's out, but
Not
so is
the
the
way
Hammer.
the competition is
So
at
is
the
the
moment.
Hammer. So I think if the Dolphins...
Nanai out, Reece Robson out, Ruben Cotter out, Tom Dearden out.
Yeah, I just think it's... I think I'm giving the Dolphins... I'm giving the...
Did you not hear them names he
I'm
just
giving
said?
the Cowboys credit here. I think the Cowboys, they'll still play some good footy. And I think the Dolphins, if they're not on at their best, they could be closer than you think.
That's the debate for
I
every
think it
team.
could be closer than you
If they're
think.
not on for their best.
Could be closer than you think.
Yeah, okay.
But my man Katoa is the
well
X
done.
factor, and he's why I'm going cheddar.
Okay. Well, thank you. And that's why I'm going cheddar for Manly's. DCE's my
Easy
man.
option.
So how do Dolphins win this game? Is it's just the X factor for Katoa through the middle?
You know what? Talking
Happen?
about Dolphins, I just read something today. Safiti's out for the year. Is that right? I think
Check that
Safiti,
one.
and there was another. I missed the other player. There's one of the other forwards. I did to do my homework, but I saw Safiti. I'm pretty sure he's out for the year, which is huge news if that's correct. That's a big blow for the Dolphins. But I just think Dolphins, well balanced side. Hammer out, obviously.
Him and Gilbert rest of
That's
the season.
huge.
Yeah.
Him and Gilbert out for the year.
Yep.
Footy nerds, that's massive. Huge blow for the Dolphins. Chances to climb the ladder as high as they can, I think. You know, they've been short on middles. We spoke about it last week. They had a great performance off playing without sort of 3 or 4 of their best forwards. But how long can that last? You know, those big games, couple more injuries, it can start to drag you down. But, yeah, look, they've been outstanding. I think they'll have too much footy. Who steps up for Hammer? Who plays for Hammer?
Their fullback is
Averillo. So Senna will be... They bring someone who's coming...
Fagai, Feagai.
Fagai from he used to play at the Dragons. Matt Fager. Max Fager, yeah. Our last game of the weekend is the Rabbits v the Dogs. Cody Walker's out again with a groin injury, but our man Lachie Galvin dons the number 6 jumper this weekend. I think the Dogs win, and they win easy against a Bunnies team without Latrell Mitchell, Cody Walker. The list goes on for them. I think, for me, Dogs get a really good win. It gets a good look at how Toby and Galvin go together. Obviously, I don't believe they'll ever move Matty Burton from 6, but it's a good look for the Dogs to see how they team up and combine together, and I think the Dogs get the win.
I thought this would have been your cheddar because you like the easy favourites, and the Dogs are that this week. Easy favourites.
You're trying to actually wind something up that can't be winded up, because if we go through the score check of the cheddar, what's the score, Gabe?
I will get it up, but I think it is 9 to Toddy and 6 to Mitch. 9-6.
And if we went back through history, shows that I hardly have a big favourites. I've got to a lead because I went the underdogs.
Long game.
Don't come closer to the screen because your nose is hurting me.
Nose is massive. It's definitely got bigger, eh? Too many lies, bro.
It's like a big toucan beak.
Fuck, I shouldn't laugh that out.
It's growing in the sun.
It's gotten bigger.
It's like you're laying on your back so much that that's the first point to the sun. There must be water dripping on it, sweat, and it's making it actually grow like a
Hey,
tree.
if I could lie on a beach and my nose grows, I'm happy for my nose to grow because I'd rather lie on a beach and have I'd rather lie on a beach and have a big nose and not lie on the beach. Does that make sense?
Very true. You're looking
Quite of the show.
You are looking very tan, and I'm quite envious of the life you're living over there because one, you're about. I know I've been over there before and lived the same life before, but I probably didn't have a mocktail. I would have had a cocktail or 2 or 20
or 20. Yeah.
But no, I'm envious of the life you're living. It's really. It's really good. It's good to see. And you're tan and you look relaxed.
Circle back to the footy here for me, boys. Circle back to the footy. Who are you going?
I just said, of course, the Dogs. Dogs is, for me, Dogs is...
Yeah.
I think it could be a good scoreline for the Dogs this week. Galvin gets his opportunity to stand up. He's going to want to have a huge game. Just the defensive efforts of the Dogs. Look at this guy. The defensive effort from the Dogs and... look, I just think South with the players out, Latrell, Cody, the big three, the big four, whatever you want to put it, they're gonna have to struggle for. Who's coming up with their points? Who's coming up with South's points this week? I think they're going to struggle for points, and the Bulldogs are going to be too strong. The tidal wave of Belmore, tidal wave of Belmore is going to be continuing.
That's round 15 preview wrapped, done and dusted. Now time for some fan questions. Then I'm going to put Mitch on the spot for his top 8 for the back end of the year. Let's go.
Thanks for tipping me up.
Good,
this
Who's
one
tipped you up
here
then?
is from Tim. Do you think Queensland will/should kick off to Spencer Leniu?
So
they'll get enough practice of kicking off, so they'll have to.
It's lost its spark a bit now because there's so much talk about it. You know, like
they've got to kick to him.
For me. I love that they didn't kick to him. I love this storyline of will they, won't they? Because they're going to look so bad if they don't. And then can you imagine the atmosphere in the crowd when they do? Like, I love it.
Well, I don't understand what the issue is. He's not going to break through and score a try. Fucking get in front of him and cave him. Easier said than done.
You're right, though. It's a 6-on-1. Like it's a 6-on-1. You got a fucking 6 defenders area to bash one middle. Yeah. Awful carry. And takes a tough man to do it.
Do you know what? Do you know what I find funny about our game? That is the one moment that was spoken about for the whole lead up to this game too. Is why they didn't kick to Spencer. Talk about the game itself.
Storylines, brother.
Storylines that sell papers. Papers become fish paper wrappers. So who gives a rat's ass?
Queensland's scared, mate. That's what I'm taking away from it. And I love saying that.
They're not scared.
It is a good point what they said. Like it is a little win for New South Wales. However you want to look at it or not, psychologically it was a little win.
You don't think they're scared, Tony?
I don't think they're scared.
Fucking no bloke that puts on a footy jumper is scared.
You honestly reckon the Queensland middles are going, oh, I don't want to tackle Spencer? Let's be honest.
Their bums pucker and go.
Billy goes, we'll keep the Spencer on the left.
That's why I view it, obviously. Never put on a jersey.
Please.
Yeah, there we go. That's what you should be saying. Run with that. Get the Blues on your side, Mitch.
Mate, and even if there was, who the fuck's admitting that?
Here.
As I said, it's a 6-on-1.
Exactly.
I'm utmost respect for a play one carry off a kickoff. Fuck, I would never want to do it. And I'd love and respect for every front row I've ever played with doing it. But it's a 6-on-1. It's a fucking 6-on-1. Fuck, it's a tough carry.
Isn't it? Next question here is there a chance that Reece Walsh can jump KP for a Queensland fullback jersey permanently?
Not this series.
But in the series to come, is it a toss up? Is kind of the question here.
I think if Reece Walsh can continue to rediscover his form that we know he can do, but also continue to get better at different parts of his game, Reece Walsh is a superstar. He does things that only Reece Walsh can do, and similar to KP. Obviously, KP's been around longer than Reece. But over the last few months before Reece got injured, Reece's form wasn't great, and that might be on the back of the Broncos' poor performances in game. But what I've seen from him on the weekend, coming back from injury, he showed that he's been conscious and worked on his game in small areas, that if he plays the consistent long game and then lets himself do Reece Walsh moments and come up with big plays, I think if he becomes a complete package, he can definitely push for a Queensland jumper. But you've got another bloke on the other side of the field that we've said this. If I was speaking about KP 3 or 4 years ago, I would have said probably the similar thing. He does things that only Caleb Ponga can do, but he's now found a difference and a balance in his game that he can game manage if he needs to. He can play that first receiver, but he plays tough. He's got different styles of footy that he can lean on in different moments. So I think as Reece Walsh develops as a player, you can probably see them both in a team together somewhere. I think he'll fit into that Queensland team because they're both exciting players. And he's been there before, Reece Walsh.
That's true. What do you think, Mitch?
Yeah, he's every chance of pushing in. Like Todd just said, he's been there before. it's like all the great competitions over the years. You had, back to the 80s and 90s, Alfie Langer and Steve Mortimer, Andrew Johns, Alfie Langer. There's always contests at that level, in that rep level. Who's going to get the spot? They'll be playing cat and mouse for the next 5 years. If one's injured, one will step up. If one's playing better, he'll get the nod. That's how I see it. They're both capable. Whoever plays better form.
I don't think they're both.
Whoever's playing in better form.
I don't reckon they'll have a stronghold on the one jumper.
They don't have a stronghold?
I don't reckon either one of them's got a strong. I don't think. I don't know. I just don't think
it's
they've
not
got
a lock for either.
Yeah, it's not a lock for either. No.
I agree with you. And I just got that wrong. Steve Mortimer and Alfie. I think Steve Mortimer was before Alfie. Alfie and Sticky it was. But yeah, those great competitions that are always going to happen in rep level. And I agree, though. I agree with Toddy. I don't think it's like your Billy Slater situation or Tedesco that he's to lose. I still think they're working out who's the best option. But it's a big game for KP for his legacy, I suppose. I don't like that word because what does it really mean? But in these situations, but it's a big game for him as far as his reputation at rep level to an extent. He needs to have a big game, I think, KP, and I know he will. I love him as a player. I love him as a bloke, a superstar. But it's his game to shine. It really is. Obviously, changes with Cherry, Dearden out. Dearden comes in. He's a bit more of the inexperienced. Munster's been there, but for them to get this result, it's on KP a little bit, and that's not unwanted pressure. He can handle it. In my opinion, he's one of the best, top 10 players in the game. I've played with him. I love him, but it's a big game for him. Big game for his.
Say you love him
big
again.
Game for his. Big game for his sort of standing in the game. I reckon can really stamp his authority.
Is there a world where they're both in the team or not? Because obviously I think KP could play 14, but is that just not enough kind of big bodies, or is it a possibility? Do you think? Where
There's always a possibility, Gabe. Where there's thought around it, there's a possibility. That's for sure.
13, you reckon?
Words never spoken.
No, not 13.
14, sorry.
We played on his debut.
They could play. You could play him. You could play him either anywhere.
Start doing those things, but it's a waste for me.
Of course it is, but we're getting asked a question. You have to answer.
I get it. He just needs to win, KP. He comes out and gets man of the match, and then we're all saying he's there for 10 years. You know what I mean? And he's capable.
They ain't winning.
I agree.
Last one here, it's a bit more broad. I think it's in the light of Sam Walker returning. Would you rather build a team around for the next 5 years, Sam Walker or Lachie Galvin?
It stumped me. Where they are at the moment, probably Sam Walker, because he's been proven and done it consistently for the last few years. But as Mitch said, he's coming into a new system that it's his ship now. He's had Kiri for a long time, so it's now Sam Walker's team when he comes back from injury. I think he'll relish at the opportunity to own the team. He'll be the front and centre. He'll be the dominant half. Even though he is the dominant half, he demands the ball. But it's now Sam Walker's team for a long time, I believe. But I think after watching Galvin on the weekend, it shows that he's an unfazed kid. He's got the ability just to come in anywhere and inject himself into the game. I feel, if I think back to times, if I had to come off the bench, I would find it hard to come into a game and say the 60th minute. I know the Dogs were up, but he come in and filled the space really quick and actually changed the game. He actually made the game quicker, and it showed with them scoring 2 tries when he was on the field from... People would say basic plays, but he just drew attention. So I'm going to go Sammy Walker, but...
Yeah, I'm going to go Sammy Walker, but something that's keeps surprising me or impressing me with Galvin is his confidence and that energy that he's got. He's got a bit more personality than Walks in a way where he's a bit brash and he really wants to be the dominant. And I feel like I want to see Walks grow into that a bit more this year. I really do. I think it's his time to be that, really own the team and really dominate the team. And if he can do that, I'm going Walks. But I feel like Galvin's he's got the personality on his side at the moment.
Good stuff. That's all the fan questions, boys.
Oh, now the fans' questions done. Thank you, fans. We love listening to these, love hearing your questions, and we love answering them for you because that's what makes us tick. That's what keeps the footy nerds alive. So well done. Thank you. I'm going to put you on the spot, Mitch. You can decline, and we can talk about it next week after this weekend's footy. But at the moment, I want you to listen. I want you to concentrate for about 45 seconds. This is the ladder at the moment. The Bulldogs, the Raiders, the Warriors, the Storm, the Sharks, the Cowboys, the Dolphins, the Broncos round out the top 8. Manly, Roosters, Dragons, Rabbits, Panthers, Tigers, Knights, Eels, Titans round out your bottom 9. I want you to get your crystal ball that the people of our fans, they hammer us if they're fans or not, they hammer us because we think we've got a crystal ball. I want you to get your crystal ball out, rub it like a baby's bum, and tell me.
I'm going to change.
Does anything in the top 8 change?
Might change Roosters instead of Broncos.
So Roosters will fall to 8th. Broncos will fall out.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, potentially. Potentially. Other than that, I like that top 8. I don't see too much change.
So, do you think the Panthers fall into the 8?
If Panthers fall in, Dolphins will drop out. So if there was any change to that, Dolphins and Broncos would fall out. Panthers and Roosters.
That's not a bad take,
Huh?
I think. So that's not a bad take.
If Dolphins and Broncos would fall out, Roosters and Panthers will jump up. Cronulla, I want to see more from the Sharks, as we keep saying. But I think they'll be steady there. They're a top 6 side. They should be better than a top 6 side, but they're a top 6 side. And the rest of it's pretty in cement, really. Still have a feeling the Panthers will make it.
I'm going to go the bottom. I'm going to go I think Cowboys fall out. I think Manly go on a run at the back end of the year. I think Manly will be in the top 8. I believe the Roosters will be in the top 8. I believe the Broncos will fall out. I also believe the Panthers. So I'm going to go similar to you, but I believe Cowboys will come out. And actually, Manly will go into 6th. They'll finish here at 6th. Roosters at 7th. And then the Panthers at 8th.
And so who are the teams you have dropping out again, Toddy?
Cowboys, Dolphins, Broncos.
Cowboys, Dolphins, Broncos.
Interesting.
Yeah, neither of them are bad takes. That you can't see that top 4 going anywhere, can you? Dogs, Raiders, Warriors, Storm.
No. If Sharks were to lose this weekend, I would put question marks on it.
Out of the 8.
Yeah.
I just feel there's those teams, like, you look at the Roosters after Origin, they've obviously been building for something. Sammy Walker comes back, and it's going to be a big question mark how Sammy comes back, and I believe he'll do well. The Panthers is going to be an uphill battle, but I feel that they can scrape into the 8. But as you said, like the back end of the year, as the season goes on, drags it on longer. Without 2 of your starting middles for the Dolphins, I think that's why they'll fall out. Manly, I think they've got a lot to play for. Obviously, Tommy and Jake haven't played any part in the Origin series. DCL will miss the next 2 parts of Origin. They've got some obviously exciting young players. So I think Manly will play finals just on the back of those 3 names.
Here's one for you, boys. Who's tipping for Spoon? Can anyone beat the Titans?
Titans will get it for sure, I think.
Yeah, I think the Titans, it's sad to say, I think the Titans will get the Spoon.
I can't see anyone doing much worse, really, can you? Unfortunately.
Nah, I think Titans for sure. Have they had the Spoon before? Titans?
Gold Coast Titans, have they ever got the wooden spoon? Yes, 2011 and 2019.
Twice.
Yeah, only 6 wins in 2011, only 4 wins in 2019.
Don't worry, the Titans. All right, footy nerds. It's been a great show. Signing out from Toucan and Stewie off Family Guy, Todd Carney. Has anyone ever watched Family Guy? If you have, go look at Stewie. It's Todd Carney as a cartoon figure.
I look like Mad Max.
And as I said, if the beach is growing my nose, I'm going to lie on the fucker every day, and my nose will be bigger than Laurie Daly by the end of summer. And Gabe, you look like an oil painting, my brother. Footy nerds, keep growing. We want this community to keep growing. Good things coming. Footy talk, mid-season form, origin form, and the back end of the year, you might hear a bit of reboot. Love you all.